Hello, everybody. This is Tyler Vorseth here, and welcome to The Hope That Was Lost summary. Uh, so this is a crazy book. It doesn't fit the other books. It is a different book. Um, if you do decide to read it, I would say I'm kind of sorry, but also not at the same time. This is where the quality of the writing really steps in, though. This is the point where I feel like, yeah, that is the one. That is the version I want. Um, so it's a very weird structure to the book. Okay. If I could fully describe it to you, I would. But the problem is the problem is that it is so chaotic that in a way describing it does a disservice to the book. Like it has to actually be read and felt in order to actually be able to describe it. So let me do my best, okay? So The Hope That Was Lost stars a character named Brain. Brain is based on my real life mother, who passed away in 2010, and she keeps the human female form because of that event. Okay. She is also canonically the brother of Tyler. Um, so what's interesting about that is that they are both Pandertians who have been alive since the beginning of time of the universe. And they were simply chosen to be together. The story of Adam and Eve says that Adam's rib was taken out and put into the the ribs of Eve to help her be brought up. And this is kind of the same origin story as Adam and Eve, and with all of it, but on a different planet, Pandersia. And they go to Earth to colonize Earth. They are the first ones, right? And their abandonment of Pandersia is what causes the Fourth World War. Um, and we flash forward to 500 quadrillion years into the future, and basically, um, approximately, um, we go to a scene where Brain is captured. So Brain is captured, and she has to find her way out through this coliseum that has multiple layers. Uh, and I do it. I put a flashback right at the end of that fourth layer or whatever, and it is glorious. It is so silly what happens next. Uh, so basically, it flashes back to when my mother died. That moment right there. And it gives her take on it from heaven. And she gets curious, right? And tries to find this flash drive that contains the memory of Tyler. She is curious about how much Tyler actually knows, which is a lot. But it's still being revealed canonically. Tyler has the memory in 2009 that lends to a lot of memories just flooding back in of his past lives. And then, um, like in 2014, he is canonically writing his first book. Even though it's not explicitly stated, he is actually writing his first book, just like I wrote my first book. Part of a scholarship, Raging Seas of the Pacific. It will come on the event series, but this is the main series. Damn it. Anyway, um, so right, she has a flashback. She get she tries to get the flash drive. She solves a riddle to get the flash drive, the right one, the real one, not the backup one. And she's brought into this test. This test is set up by God to help her be able to accept the memory because it's a lot and not everybody can handle the memory. So, yeah, he sets up hell, purgatory, and heaven. 13 doors for hell, I believe 9 for purgatory, and 7 for heaven. And these doors have various challenges that Brain goes through, and you can read more about it. I will not go into detail. I will never go into detail, okay? Because it is just a lot to handle for um, a lot to handle to even describe the most basic thing in this book because it's just all out. It doesn't hold any punches. It goes all out. So anyway, um, so where was it? She meets Future Tyler. Future Tyler number 1. And this is where things get crazy. Why? Because Future Tyler number 1 wants that flash drive. He wants that flash drive so he can go to reality, which is this reality that is actually real. It is where Tyler should be, Tyler and Brain should be, but aren't. And I might publish my short stories of the Perfect Version series. I have no idea, but it goes into ascending to reality. These characters exist on the illusion world, which is a reality down from reality, which basically means that it's a simulation of some sort. Things are not quite what they seem. Anyway, uh, Future Tyler explains this clearly, or not clearly, depending on your take. And he also explains that this is the 6th version of the universe, which means that the universe has been remade 5 times. 5 times it has started over completely anew, and events have happened completely the same except for one key event that changes the whole history of that version. This version is particularly long. It is 4.5 quintillion years, whereas the other versions are like billions of years. That's it, just billions of years. Anyway, long story short, Future Tyler knows all this stuff because he has been studying reality for all his life. That is something you won't see or hear in the books, is that Future Tyler has been doing his research. Future Tyler number 1 doesn't just go into heaven and invade Brain's mind for no reason. No, he studies. He he tries to figure out Brain's mind through and through and tries to win over the flash drive. See, this is a battle of the mind. Brain is in a battle of the mind against God and Future Tyler. But then when Future Tyler comes in, the God part gets disconnected, thankfully. And she has to deal with all Future Tyler's torture methods. And it is glorious. The various torture methods include transformation into different animals and being able to take down a health bar based on that animal. That's one of the bigger ones. There's also a scene where they use guns, but they can only use one shot of the guns. And Brain has to borrow a couple from Tyler, has to disarm him and use it against him. Usually, what I like to do is I like to do 1 bar of health for Brain. Sometimes it's 5, I believe. But then like 27 bars for Tyler, Future Tyler #1. And it just goes all out. What's interesting about Future Tyler 1 is that it is not a future version of Tyler. Despite what the title says, this is an actual clone of Tyler. He is actually the first clone of Tyler. And that happened at the beginning of this universe. And so, the 6th version of the universe, of course. But yeah, Future Tyler has been going around doing his research and trying to find out how to get to reality. And he has found a solution. So he will try to torture Brain into giving him the flash drive. Mental games. And at some point, we go into the worlds of Tomb Raider, Halo, and SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. Why? Because this is what is in Tyler's mind. Brain is doing a mental battle within Tyler's mind. Tyler's obsessed with people transforming into things. Tyler is obsessed about video games. Tyler is obsessed about hell, purgatory, and heaven, to the point where his obsession actually causes there to be a kaiju of God fighting against Brain. Yeah, it's a crazy, crazy book, but we go over the worst levels in Tyler's mind of these games, of Tomb Raider 1 through Angel of Darkness, of Halo 1 through 3, and SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. The worst levels, described in the best way possible, like a review. Very specific, very detailed. So eventually, what happens is that Brain gives the flash drive to Future Tyler 1. But, and this is a big but, she gives him the backup drive. And this is important for later, okay? If you go into The Inevitable Truth, which is in the event series, it will be published way later on. But this backup flash drive that is given is important because it is what lets Future Tyler 1 be the future bad guy. Anyway, so what happens here is that Brain gets her memory erased by God. She forgets everything, all the events that happened in Tyler's mind are gone. So this is this is interesting because this is her own account of the situation. This is her own book. This is the book that she told Tyler to write, so he wrote it. But she's always fuzzy about the details of Tyler's mind. So you don't really know if this actually happened or not with certainty. Sure, some things might have happened, but at some point, future Tyler 1 escapes through a portal and goes to reality. He has found the solution. And God destroys the flash drive. And what this does to Tyler is it sets him on autopilot for a good chunk of his life. He has to get back all the memories that were stolen from him. And this is an interesting thing that you can delve into if you want. But I find that it's very fascinating that Tyler's memories are now gone. He has to bring them back up from the dead, essentially. Anyway, so what happens after that is the flashback's over. Brain goes through the cave and finds a light, is blinded by it, and she gets stripped and paraded down in the town. And I believe this is the city of Pernepolis. So Palantis takes pity on her. After she is paraded and shown to a noose, basically on a stand, somebody saves her. I think it's Palantis, and he takes her under his wing and shows her to his house. And basically, they get a ship and they go to all these planets that are relating to the war faction in various degrees. And then they eventually find a planet that has all these bases that are explored, or all these areas that are explored. She finds a tome that details the war between Amnicus and Sauron on Eldrin, and that fascinates her. She uses a telescope to see Eldrin. The solar system that is over contains Eldrin. And she looks at it with Palantis and wants to go to that planet. The same planet that was in A True Calamity. Isn't that cool? The next book will be the first meetup of these two characters in such a long time. Anyway, this is Tyler Voice About. I know the summary was long, but it needed it because, oh my god, describing this book is like torture. It is absolute hell. You have to read it for yourself. Anyway, this is Tyler Voice About. Have a good day. Bye.